Hello everyone, my name is Vijay Kumar and we are studying power engineering. In the last lecture, we have studied about the type of hydraulic turbine. In that, we have seen the classification of hydraulic turbine based on specific speed, based on head available, based on principle of operation, then based on flow of water on the turbine. Now in this lecture, we will do the analysis of Pelton wheel or turbine. This is a Pelton wheel or Pelton turbine. This is purely a impulse turbine. This is a purely impulse hydro turbine. Let's start the analysis. First, let's see the component of Pelton wheel. You know very well, this one is the penstock. The water from the storage space, or you can say dam, will come through the penstock, and after the penstock it will go into the nozzle. This one is the nozzle, and in nozzle what will happen? High pressure energy of water will convert into kinetic energy. So high velocity jet will come from the outlet of the nozzle, and this high velocity jet will strike the bucket. Because of that, this runner, this one is the runner, this runner will start rotating. Okay, and this one is the casing. You know very well why this casing is provided. This casing is provided to prevent the splashing of water. And bucket, you know, this is runner, this is braking jet, and this one is the wheel, or you can say this one is the spear. Now let's see what is this wheel and spear arrangement. This wheel and spear arrangement will control the flow of jet, will control the flow of jet on the bucket. Okay, this will, this spear will move forward and backward, forward and backward. If it is moving backward, then it will open the nozzle, then flow of jet will increase. And if it is moving forward, then flow of jet will reduce. Okay, that's why it is controlling the flow of jet. Suppose suddenly we have to close the nozzle. Now we have closed the nozzle and this spear will move forward, but due to inertia, this runner will start rotating, this runner will rotate. Due to inertia, this runner will rotate. So we have to stop this runner in a shorter time. That's why we have provided braking jet in opposite direction. That's why we have provided the braking jet in opposite direction. It will provide the jet of water in opposite direction. Because of that, this runner will stop in a shorter time. So friend, these are the components of Pelton wheel or turbine. This one is the shape of bucket. You see here, this one is the shape of bucket, and or you can say vane. This one is the splitter. This splitter, what is the function of this splitter? It will split the quantity of water in two equal half. This splitter will divide the quantity of water in two equal half. Okay, now let's see this. This is the vane or bucket. I have drawn like this. In this case, the water from the nozzle or jet from the nozzle will strike the bucket from at the center. You see here at the splitter, you can say, and this splitter will divide the water in two equal half. And u1 is equal to blade velocity or vane velocity at the inlet. V1 is the jet velocity. So what will be the relative velocity? Vr1. And horizontal component of V1 is will component. I have already explained. So in this case, the water is flowing horizontally. You can say the water or jet is coming horizontally. Okay, now this water is coming like this, water is coming like this, and this one is the Vr2 relative velocity, and this one is the V2, and this one is the U2. That means the velocity of vane at the outlet. And B2 is the blade angle at the outlet, and here alpha, if I say this one is alpha, this alpha is less than 90, and VW2 will component at the outlet, this is the horizontal component of V2. Okay, now you see here, this one is the angle of deflection, this one is the angle of deflection, that means water is deflected from the center up to the angle 15 degree. Why this angle of deflection is there? Because to prevent the hitting of jet coming from one bucket to other bucket. So in this case, suppose this one is the bucket, if water is striking like this, then it will, this deflection have been provided like this, water will go like this. If there is no deflection, then water will go like this and it will go like this, then it will hit this one bucket, this bucket. So to prevent the hitting of the jet coming from one bucket to other bucket, angle of deflection has been provided. Splitter is provided to divide or flow equally into the two halves. Number of nozzles. The number of nozzles in Pelton turbine are used 2 to 6. Number of bucket, that means number of vane you can say, number of blades you can say, is greater than 15. So these are the optimum values. These are the optimum values. Now this is the diagram which I have explained. This is the inlet velocity triangle and this one is the outlet velocity triangle. Now you see here, R is the mean radius of wheel. R is the mean radius of wheel. So U1 is equal to R omega. That means U1 we can write pi dn by 60. In this case, the velocity, that means omega is same. So U1 and U2 is same. In this case, U1 and U2 is same. That's why we will write U. This is the tangential velocity of wheel. This is the tangential velocity of wheel. Now V1 is the absolute velocity of water jet leaving from the nozzle. So we can write CV square root of 2gh net. The h net means net head. This one is the net head. Square root of 2gh net head. So CV is the coefficient of velocity. Optimum velocity for CV is 0.98. VR1 is equal to V1 minus U. This one is the relative velocity of water striking the bucket tangentially. Let Ft, that is the tangential force acting on control volume of fluid by the bucket. According to momentum theorem, now what will be the tangential force? You know very well. Based on the momentum theorem, the tangential force will be the change in momentum. Change in momentum, that means final momentum minus initial momentum. So what is the final momentum? Final momentum is the mass flow rate into change in velocity. That means change in velocity in x direction we will see. So if we see here the x in the x direction, this one is the VR cos beta 2. So here this horizontal component will be like this. So mass flow rate into minus VR2 cos beta 2 minus VR1. This one is the final velocity and this one is the initial velocity. So Ft is equal to m dot into minus VR2 cos beta 2 minus, so VR1 we can replace V1 minus U. Now this equation we can write like this. We have taken minus common and this will become V1 minus U plus VR2 cos beta 2. Now we know that friction factor K is the friction factor. This is the ratio of VR2 divided by VR1. In previous lectures I explained this thing. K is the friction factor. It is the ratio of relative velocity at the outlet to the relative velocity at the inlet. So I can write this equation m dot into V1 minus U plus K VR1 cos beta 2. So VR1 again I can replace V1 minus U. After solving this, I'll get minus m dot into V1 minus U into 1 plus K cos beta 2. This is the force on the jet by the vane. Now we have to find out the force on the vane or bucket by the jet. This will be the negative of this one. So we can write m dot into V1 minus U into 1 plus K cos beta 2. So if we have to calculate the work done per second, or we can say power developed by the bucket, then what I will do, I will multiply this equation with U, that means velocity of blade or velocity of bucket you can say. So we will get the power m dot into v1 minus u into 1 plus k cos beta 2 into u. Let m dot is the mass flow rate of jet from the nozzle. Mass flow rate is rho a v1. Then power is equal to, we can write rho a v1 into v1 minus u 1 plus k cos beta 2 into u. This one is the power or energy transfer rate from the jet to the bucket. Now you see here a into v1, we can write rho into q, and this one is the v1 minus u into 1 plus k cos beta 2 into u. This one is the power or energy transfer rate from the jet to the bucket. Now let's see what is the bucket efficiency or wheel efficiency or hydraulic efficiency. The hydraulic efficiency will be equal to the ratio of work done per second which is produced by the bucket to the energy input. Efficiency is output by input. So in this case, output is this one, work done per second, and input is the kinetic energy from the nozzle. So work done per second, we got rho a v1 into v1 minus u into 1 plus k cos beta 2 into u. What is the kinetic energy? Half mv square. So half into rho a v1 into v1 square. So you see here rho a v1 will cancel out. So we will get the hydraulic efficiency 2 into 1 plus k cos beta 2 into 1 minus u by v1 into u by v1. Okay. Now let's see, k is fixed. In this case, k is fixed and beta 2 is also fixed. Then the hydraulic efficiency is the function of u by v1 only. So for the maximum efficiency, what I will do, I will differentiate this equation with u by v1. So after differentiating this equation, we will get the u by v1 value is equal to 1 by 2. That means u is equal to v1 by 2. We can write u is equal to v1 by 2. That means blade velocity is equal to the half of the jet velocity. This is the condition at which the hydraulic efficiency will be maximum. So u by v1 is equal to half, we can write. Now we will put this value in this equation. After putting this value in this equation, we got the hydraulic efficiency is equal to 1 plus k cos beta 2 by 2. If there is no friction, then k is equal to 1. That means VR1 is equal to VR2. Then hydraulic efficiency we can write 1 plus cos beta 2 by 2. Okay. If there is complete deflection, that means at 180 degree, then efficiency will be maximum. That means 100%. Okay. Now you see here variation of hydraulic efficiency with u by v1. This is value 0, this is 1, and this one is the 0.5. This is the point at which the hydraulic efficiency will be maximum. This is the point at which the hydraulic efficiency will be maximum. Okay, so this is the maximum hydraulic efficiency. Now what is the mechanical efficiency? Mechanical efficiency will be the shaft power to the runner power. Shaft power to the runner power. This thing I have already explained in my previous lectures. In mechanical efficiency, the following losses are there: bearing losses, complete coupling losses, and mechanical losses. Normally the mechanical efficiency is 90%. Now what is the overall efficiency of Pelton wheel? You know, the overall efficiency will be the shaft power to the water power, shaft power to the rotor power. So if we calculate the overall efficiency, then it will be mechanical efficiency into hydraulic efficiency. We have considered here volumetric efficiency also. And what is the volumetric efficiency? You know very well. You see here the volumetric efficiency is the q by q plus delta q. That means water flow rate passing through the runner, and q plus delta q is the total discharge supplied to the runner at the inlet. There is a delta q, that is leakage of water through the seal and glands, and this water will go into the tail race directly. So this is the volumetric efficiency. This thing also I have already explained in my previous lecture. All these things I have already explained. H is the gross head, HF is the loss due to friction, H net is the net head. Now from the Bernoulli's equation, how we got this value? From the Bernoulli's equation, this value we got. You see in this case, this one is the nozzle, and if I apply the Bernoulli's equation at the inlet and outlet of the nozzle, then we can write this equation like this, and we got v1 square by 2g is equal to h net. So we got the value of velocity is equal to cv into square root of 2g into h minus hf. This is the h net. Cv is the coefficient of velocity, I have already explained. and this one is the volumetric efficiency. Now working or diagram proportion of Pelton wheel or some parameter you have to understand. This one is the velocity which I have already explained. Bucket speed ratio, U by V1 is called the bucket speed ratio or speed factor. The normal value for this we consider 0.46 to 0.47. The friction factor K is equal to 0.9. I've already explained. The discharge of water through the Pelton wheel. Discharge is Q into A. So many nozzles. If there are N nozzle, then N into, this one is the area into velocity. N into A into V. This one is the velocity, this one is the area, and this one is the N is the number of jet. What is the jet ratio? That is called M, and it is the ratio of diameter of wheel to the diameter of jet. Capital D is the diameter of wheel and small d is the diameter of jet. Number of bucket is equal to Z is equal to 15 plus 0.5 M. M is the jet ratio. This one is the called the Teigen formula. This one called the Teigen formula. This you have to remember as it is. Now what is the specific speed of Pelton turbine? Specific speed of Pelton turbine is N into square root of P divided by H raised to the power 5 by 4. Now value of specific speed varies from 4 to 16. If value of specific speed for Pelton turbine is 4 to 16, then D by D ratio, capital D by small d ratio, that means Z ratio will be 6 to 26. This directly you have to remember. There is some derivation between this which is not in your syllabus. That's why I'm giving here direct value. If capital D by small d is very large, then for the fixed value of D, this diameter is fixed. Now if D by D is very large, then for fixed D, the diameter of rotor will be more and speed N will be less, and frictional loss will increase, reduce mechanical efficiency. If D by D, capital D by small d is very small, then for fixed small d, the diameter of rotor will be less. That means very close spacing between the bucket. Hence frictional loss will increase. Hence optimum value for capital D by small d is considered 14 to 16. 14 to 16 we will consider the optimum value for the jet ratio. Okay. Let's see the geometry of Pelton wheel. In this case, bucket width, this one is the bucket width B, and bucket length, this one is the length, bucket length is this one, and this one is the width, and this one is the height or depth, you can say bucket depth. So these are some values which you have to remember. Capital B by small d is equal to 4 to 5 we take. L by D is equal to 2 to 3 we take. H by D we take 0.8. All these values you have to remember for doing the numerical problems. So friends, in this lecture we have studied about the analysis of Pelton turbine. All the things you have to remember, and if you know the impact of jet on the vane, then you can easily understand the work done by the bucket, and all these things, most of the things I have already explained in my previous lecture, like what is the hydraulic efficiency, what is overall efficiency, what is volumetric efficiency. Just you have to see this concept as per the Pelton wheel or Pelton turbine. So friend, this is all about the Pelton wheel or Pelton turbine. In the next lecture we will study about the analysis of reaction turbine. Thanks for watching this video and have a good day. Bye bye.